Alright, people. I'm a little late with this video. Things happened over the weekend. I was in the middle of stuff and I never had the opportunity to shoot a video. So here it is now, a few days late. But we're in the third round of the playoffs, the conference finals. 4 teams left. And here are my predictions on how it's all going to play out. So we got in the Western Conference, we're already 2 games in. We have the Spurs and the Grizzlies. Spurs up 2 games to nothing. And I'm going to be bold here. I predicted Grizzlies in 6 before the series started. I'm going to stick with that. Mostly because I think it would be wrong for me to change my prediction now. That just doesn't sit well with me. But I think this Grizzlies team is getting better as the series is going along. And I think when they go back to their home court, they'll have the opportunity to remember who they are. In these first 2 games, one thing I've kind of noticed from this Memphis team that I'm not a fan of is that they get caught up in what the Spurs are doing. They try to become this team that shoots a lot of threes, and that's not them. They need to understand that they're not a team that can shoot threes very well. They're not going to keep up with the Spurs on that regard. The way they keep up is by playing their game. They play in the post with Randolph and Gasol. They have pick and rolls with Mike Conley. And I think they just have to accept that. And if that's not good enough to beat the San Antonio Spurs, then that's what it is. But that's not their identity. Their identity is a team that grinds it out with great defense and post play. Tonight, the game 2 just ended. I just watched it end on and it comes down to it's a great team, but the fact that they don't even have one really good 3-point shooter on that roster, it makes me think of the Lakers, where the NBA that we're in right now is very much catered to great 3-point shooters. And if you look at a lot of the great teams, they have a couple great 3-point shooters. The Miami Heat have Ray Allen and Shane Battier and players they don't even use all that much. They can bring off guys like Rashard Lewis, who's good at shooting threes, and Mike Miller is good at shooting threes. They have LeBron James, who had a very good year shooting threes, over 40%. The Spurs have a long list of players who can shoot threes. Manu Ginobili, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard. The list goes on, but the modern NBA is designed to favor teams that shoot a lot of threes, and this Memphis team has done a tremendous job of overcoming that disadvantage, but there does come times where they really could just use a J.J. Redick or Kyle Korver type, at least. However, I think that when they go back home, they're going to remember who they are. I think they're going to win the next 2. I think they're going to go back to San Antonio and win a close game, and then I think they're going to win the series. I'm going to stick to it for now. Mainly because, what else can you do? I can't change my pick now. That would be wrong. And in the Eastern Conference, you have the Miami Heat playing the Indiana Pacers. I'm very interested by how this series plays out. Paul George is like the poor man's LeBron James, so I think it's very cool that we're going to see them go up against each other. The Indiana Pacers have an incredible defense. It's up against the Heat's incredible offense. Very important that Dwayne Wade gets healthy enough to play well in this series. We saw some flashes from him in the fourth quarter in Game 5 in Chicago, or against Chicago. And my feeling is that the Heat are going to pull it out in 5 games. I just think they're too good. And I look at this Pacers team, they're depending too much on players like Sam Young and Gerald Green, guys who they don't have it. If they had Danny Granger just coming off the bench to be a backup wing for this team, I'd feel a lot better about them, and I'd say they could push it to 7. But they don't have reliable bench players. They have a starting 5 that's one of the best in the league. Hill, Stevenson, George, West, Hibbert. That is one of the best starting 5s you'll find. But, DJ Augustine, like I said, Sam Young and Gerald Green and Ian Mahimi and Tyler Hansborough, just highly flawed players. And I think once the Miami Heat are able to challenge the depth of this Indiana Pacers team, it'll be over quickly. And I say Heat in 5. So those are my predictions for round 3. See you later.